I've always wanted to build a gaming PC, but there's just one problem. I barely know anything about gaming PCs because my current setup is powered by a PS5 and a crappy gaming laptop, and trust me when I say this laptop is on its last breath because I have a 1440p and a 4K monitor connected to it. So in today's video, I will be building my dream gaming PC. As I was going to build the PC on my table, I had to take off everything from the setup. So I threw away my old laptop and my PS5 and spent months researching, and luckily I found this website called PC Part Picker, which lets you pick all the compatible parts for your gaming PC. So as an adult with bad spending habits, I spent over $3,000 on this gaming PC. I mean, who needs to save up for the future? Am I right? I wanted to build a PC which would be great for productivity and gaming. So these are the parts that I've chosen. So for the CPU, I went with the Ryzen 9 7900X, which has enough cores and threads to run CapCut and Photoshop smoothly. And for memory, I went with CORSAIR's 64GB DDR5 RAM. For storage, I decided to go with the Samsung 990 Pro with 4TB of storage. And for the motherboard, I went with the MSI Mac P650 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, and to cool the CPU, I decided to go with Lian Galahad Trinity AIO. And finally, for the graphics card, I decided to go with the best, the Radeon RX 7900 XTX. My choices were either this or the 4080 Super, but it was costing me around $150 more, so I decided to go with this one. All of this will be built inside the stunning Lian O11 Vision Compact with the new Lian SL wireless fans. And to power all of this, I decided to go with the 1000 watt power supply from MSI. All the links for the parts will be in the description below. You can check them out if you want. So let's get the build started. As I've watched hundreds of videos, I was feeling pretty confident. So I decided to take the motherboard out of the box and get it ready for the first step, which is to install the CPU inside the motherboard. At this point, my hands were shaking and there was sweat coming out of my hands. But I managed to install the CPU properly inside the motherboard and moved on to the next step, which was installing the RAM, and this was probably the easiest part of the build. After the RAMs were installed, the next step was to install the M.2 SSD. I removed the heatsink from the motherboard, installed the SSD inside, but I was having a hard time putting the heatsink back, but somehow I figured it out and the motherboard was ready to go inside the case. I quickly cleared the table and started to unbox the case. A quick overview of this case. This is the Lian O11 Vision Compact, which means I get two versions of this case, the mesh version and the Vision version. But I decided to go with the mesh version because I wanted the best airflow possible. After that, I quickly screwed in the motherboard inside the case and was ready for the next step, which was installing the AIO. For me, this was probably the hardest part of building my PC because I was having a hard time understanding the wires and the brackets for this AIO. But after following the manual step by step, I figured it out. Firstly, I changed the pump cover from an infinity look to the ARGB one. Then I installed the fans at the top of the case, put the bracket in properly, apply the thermal paste on the CPU, remove the plastic and properly screwed in the AIO. Just installing the AIO took me about 2 hours, but it was finally finished. Next, I decided to install the fans. So these are the brand new fans from Lian, which are supposed to be wireless. These are probably the best fans you can get if you are building a gaming PC for the first time, as they are easily connectable and saves you a bunch of time understanding and daisy chaining the fans. So I brought 2 packs of reverse blade unifans and 1 single fan which I will use for exhaust. One thing good about building in the Lian O11 Vision is that you can remove the fan brackets, screw in the fans and put the bracket back, which makes it so much easier to install the fans. So I installed 3 fans at the bottom and 3 fans at the side, which will be intake fans, and the AIO fans will be exhaust and the 1 exhaust at the back. Comment down below if this airflow is optimal for good temps. the next thing I decided to install was the power supply. Right out of the box, I started putting in all the cables that I would need and installed the power supply in the back of the PC case. After that, I routed all the wires needed from the back to the front of the case and fit them in properly into the motherboard. After that, I decided to do some cable management at the back of the case, and I think I did a pretty decent job at cable management. Perfect cable management, right? Okay. After that, I closed the back side of the case and got ready to install the final piece of this PC build, which was the graphics card. I quickly unboxed the graphics card and placed it against the PCIe brackets to check how many PCIe slots it will take for this GPU, but it wasn't going in. After trying it a bunch of times, I finally figured out that I only removed 2 PCIe brackets, but this GPU needed 3. That's why it wasn't fitting in properly. After installing the GPU, I screwed it in tightly. This hole is so small. Brother, It was finally time to push the power supply button and turn it on and just hope that it doesn't catch on fire. Switched it up, switched it up. If you have made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. I'll also be making an in-depth video on how to build a PC. If you don't want to miss out on that video, make sure to subscribe to this channel and I will see you in the next video.